Welcome to Day 9 of our virtual staff wellness event. Today's focus is on thought-changing strategies. It can be helpful for us to consider what aspects in life we have control over and what aspects we do not. Generally, we cannot control the actions, thoughts, or behaviors of others or what will happen in the future. However, we can focus on our own attitude, our own actions. We can limit our access to social media and who we decide to spend time with. This same strategy can be applied during the pandemic. We have no control over COVID-19, but we can control how we implement the health and safety measures, our own physical distancing, and how we care and treat others around us. Use the handout provided in the all-staff email to write down things you can't control and are not responsible for on the outside of the circle. And in the inside of the circle, record those things that you do have control over. The following media pack created by Schools Mental Health Ontario for students also applies to adults. Let's take a look at their advice. We all find ourselves trapped in our own thoughts sometimes, whether it's being stuck worrying about the future, things going on right now, or staying safe. Thinking traps can happen to any of us. Let's take a look at some common thinking traps we might find ourselves stuck in. Please reflect on your thought patterns over the past few days. Are there recurring unhelpful or anxious thoughts? Are you stuck on a particular thought that keeps coming back? Try to identify what thoughts keep coming back. Every time this unhelpful thought pops back into your brain, replace it with new and helpful thoughts. Examples of unhelpful thoughts you can turn into helpful thoughts can include the following. Here are a few examples of how you can turn unhelpful thoughts into helpful thoughts. Unhelpful. I made a mistake. I am a bad person. Helpful. I'm a good person. No one is perfect. We all make mistakes. Unhelpful. I haven't accomplished anything this week. I'm the worst. Helpful. It's normal to feel less productive during a pandemic. Sometimes it's hard to notice and challenge our unhelpful thinking. They are often habits of thought that can be persistent. Keep trying. It gets easier with practice. If you're struggling to come up with helpful responses to your own unhelpful thoughts, it can help to put yourself in the mindset of a friend. If your friend was having the same unhelpful thoughts, how would you respond? Use the second attached handout in today's all-staff email to identify your unhelpful thoughts and replace them with helpful ones. Practicing this simple yet effective strategy can make a big difference. Another simple strategy to help stop negative self-talk is to use the SOS acronym. S, stop. When you have a negative thought, stop and give yourself a moment to address the thought. O, observe. Reflect on what you're saying. Think about where your thoughts are coming from. S, shift. Replace the thought with something positive. Shift your thinking. Cognitive behavior therapy, CBT, is a strategy to help understand how our thoughts, actions, and emotions are connected. Our thoughts, emotions, and actions all influence one another, which impacts the way we think, feel, and act every day. Sometimes they interact and influence in a good way, and sometimes in a not so good way. If our thoughts are negative, then our emotions and actions tend to be more negative. If our thoughts are positive, then our emotions and actions tend to be more positive. Thought-changing strategy, based on cognitive behavior therapy, is a simple strategy to try and cope with stressors in our lives, those things we have no control over, and how we respond to them. Think back for a moment to the start of this video when we talked about what is in our control versus what is out of our control. Although we cannot control certain aspects and stressors in our life, we can try to control our thoughts related to them. which then in turn impacts our emotions and actions. On day 9, we encourage you to try and practice the strategies in the handouts in the all staff email. Consider practicing the thought-changing strategy and add a strategy to your self-care plan. Stay tuned for day 10 of our virtual staff wellness event. Be well